Hello. Today we'll be presenting our calc project, Fecal Matters. Prelude, the Boston Three Party. On June 28, 2007, the Boston Celtics acquired Ray Allen via trade on draft day. On July 31, 2007, the Boston Celtics acquired Kevin Garnett via free agency. Allen and Garnett would join the likes of Paul Pierce, Glenn Davis, Kendrick Perkins, and the White Mamba, Brian Scalabrine. With the combined accolades that you can see on the presentation, this team was set up for greatness. A lot of people had them finishing atop of the East and even being contenders for the Eastern Conference and even the title itself. For more information on the regular season and the playoffs, let's send it to our sideline reporter, Ryan Castro. Sorry about that. We ran into some technical difficulties, so I'll be taking this slide before we send it to Ryan. The season. Boston finished 66-16. They finished first in the Eastern Conference and had the best record in the league. Kevin Garnett finished second in MVP voting to the Kobe Bryant. Garnett also was Defensive Player of the Year, All-NBA First Team, and NBA All-Defense First Team. Paul Pierce was chosen for the All-NBA Third Team. Now, let's head into Ryan Castro.
Thank you, Christian. This is Ryan Castro reporting live from Penn State University here on Old Main. So when it comes to Paul Pierce's regular season numbers, Paul Pierce averaged 19.6 points per game, 4.5 assists per game, and 5.1 rebounds per game, and also averaged about 36 minutes. All statistics in which were top 3 on the Celtics' 2008 roster. Additionally, Paul Pierce played 80 games that season, which was the most out of any Celtics player. For his postseason numbers, in the first round, Boston beat Atlanta in a 4-3 matchup. He averaged 33.4 minutes a game and also averaged 18 points a game. Both were second on the team. For the conference finals, Boston beat Cleveland in Game 7, and Paul Pierce averaged 38.4 minutes per game, which was second on the team. He also averaged 19.4 points per game, which was, again, second on the team. In the conference finals, Boston beat Detroit in Game 6, where Paul Pierce averaged 42.4 minutes a game, which led the team, and also scored 19.7 points per game, which was second on the team. Now, back to Christian for the calculus.
Here is the calculus. On June 5th, 2008, Game 1 of the 2008 NBA Finals were played. The matchup, Boston versus Los Angeles. Los Angeles was up by 5 at halftime. Early in the third quarter, Paul Pierce attempted to contest a shot by Kobe Bryant. He lands awkwardly and seems to be in an extreme amount of pain. After grimacing on the floor for what seems like minutes, Pierce is carried off by his teammates and then pushed in a wheelchair into the locker room. He leaves the game with 11 points. At this moment in time, Los Angeles is up by 4 points. TD Garden and the greater Boston area is completely stunned and silenced. The air was sucked out of the arena. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the incident.
Soul said he was re-energized after going from Memphis, one of the worst teams in the NBA, to going to the Lakers. The number 1 seed in the West this year. Kobe Bryant knocks it down. Beautiful move, and he's got 16. And down on the floor for the Lakers is Paul Pierce. Eddie Lacerte, their longtime head athletic trainer, quickly out there to check on him. Didn't see, he was in the midst of that crowd, exactly what happened. Having that right leg, he looks in some pain. You see he took a shot from his own teammate Perkins. That arm swung around and knocked Pierce down. He's hurting right now. Celtic fans holding their breaths here in Boston. Certainly not the sight the Celtics and their fans want to see. Paul Pierce in a lot of pain, had to be carried off. Then they put him in the wheelchair as he's going back to the locker room. Obviously in a lot of pain, can't walk off on his own power. It appears to be the right leg, and it happened in this play in a collision with Kendrick Perkins.
The Boston Miracle. Pierce leaves the game injured with 6:49 left in the third quarter. He checks back into the game with less than 2 minutes of game time being played. Pierce then leads his team to a much-needed Game 1 victory over the Los Angeles Lakers. The tangible benefits of Pierce's return include him scoring 11 points, finishing with 22, which is second on the team, and his plus-minus ratio, which was plus 10, which was also second on the team. Some intangible factors of Pierce's return include firing up TD Garden, motivating his teammates, taking pressure off his teams, and most likely his bowels, and shifting momentum. Here is the miracle.
This is the sight that the Celtics fans want to see. And hear the ovation as he comes hopping out of the tunnel. P.J. Brown won't go. Rondo nearly tips it in. And Pierce returning with some energy. On Vujicic trying to fight over a screen. Lakers in the penalty. Pierce ready to check back into the game as we check in with Michelle.
Well, standing back there at the locker room when Paul Pierce came out was a pretty dramatic moment. He was followed out into the hallway by Danny Ainge, the general manager. Ainge told me that it is a sprained knee. You can see that sleeve on Pierce's right knee. He's going to give it a try, guys. Meanwhile, Kendrick Perkins remains in the locker room.
All right, Michelle, and Pierce is going to come back in. Pierce has been a very durable player throughout his career, with the exception of last season during that disastrous year, when he had a host of injuries, and now this huge ovation.
Now the big question that is asked amidst our research, was this a miracle or was this a mistake? My first point of evidence: wheelchair incidences and injuries of the same caliber. Recently, in the 2018-2019 NBA season, Victor Oladipo suffered a season-ending knee injury. Later, we would find out that he tore his quad ligament in, I think, his right knee, forcing him to be out of the season. Oladipo was not taken off on a wheelchair. He was not carried by his teammates. He was not grimacing on the floor talking to a trainer for a couple of minutes. He was talking to a trainer, but he wasn't in the same manner as Paul Pierce. And he was lifted off in a stretcher, not a wheelchair. That's a big key, because when you're on a stretcher, your legs are straight. When you're in a wheelchair, your legs are bent. So if something is injured or something is wrong or banged up, I'm pretty sure you're going to want it straight. Therefore, if he really had an injury going on in his leg, why would he be taken off in a wheelchair? Our next point case, Derrick Rose. This man's been through hell and back. He's had multiple surgeries on his knees and banged up injuries and stuff. And here we see, after one of his injuries, he's walking on his own power with some assistance of assistant coaches, what it seems to be like, or a trainer or a doctor. He is walking off into the locker room. I guarantee you, Derrick Rose's pain in this picture and in this game, in this injury situation, was way worse than anything that Paul Pierce has encountered. Therefore, why did he not use a wheelchair? Why wasn't he being carried off by teammates? Why wasn't he grimacing like Paul Pierce? That question still remains. Here is some more calculus.
Now let's get into the perfect attendance, as some would say, of Paul Pierce. Pierce was not known for missing games. Actually, in the 2000 season, he was stabbed 11 times that fall/summer, and yet still played all 82 games. Now let's get into the 2008 season. He played 80 games that year, only missing 2, and he led the team, and he played 35.9 minutes per game, which also led the team. And in 2008's playoffs, he played every single game, also playing 38.1 minutes per game. And Boston played 20 games through 3 rounds, which is quite a lot for the playoffs. I mean, the series went Game 6. It's a long series. It's a lot of games to play. Pierce was not one known for missing games. And the shorts, Game 2. You see a pair of shorts which may or may not be the same shorts. And if they are the same shorts, that could be the stain that we proposed happened from game one, or if it's not the same shorts, this could be further evidence of Pierce not having control over his excretion, him getting streaky in game. We don't know. Now, what were the results of the wheelchair game and this finals? Game 6, Boston wins 4-2 in the Garden. Paul Pierce wins the finals MVP, and would this be possible without the wheelchair game? I don't know. I don't think so. This really put Paul Pierce on a pedestal, made him the great finals player that he was known to be, the great Celtic man. What impact did this have on game 1? If he didn't get injured, who knows if that momentum would have been able to build to come back from down 4 halfway through the third. This was a morale builder for the whole Boston team. And without the wheelchair, Celtics may have not taken game 1. That sets the tone for the rest of the finals. Who knows? Could have been Lakers in 7. Now, I know this has just been a theory throughout the rest of this presentation, but it's not. Recently, within the last week, Paul Pierce quoted himself and said that he had to use the bathroom. I'll leave the footage up to you guys. Here goes.
NBA countdown. Good old Oracle Arena, our second home in Oakland. Chauncey Billups, Jalen Rose, they avoid drama at all costs.
What up, Dow?
Paul here, 11 years ago today, wheelchaired off the floor for reasons he will keep to himself.
I have a confession to make. Whoa. I just had to go to a bathroom.
Number one or
I had to go to the bathroom.
But why did you need a wheelchair to get to the bathroom?
It was that bad.
Something went down. I had to go to the restroom.
Michelle Beadle.
You were streaking?
Okay, anywho, injury.
So, there you have it. That video just really leaves me speechless because this theory has not been well received for 11 years that the wheelchair game has been renowned. It's always been fake injury, he's a flopper, but no one's ever gotten into the why. And we have been digging deep into this theory for quite some time. And not after all this research, I think it's evident that we put a lot of effort into this project, and just to have it all be confirmed while we're towards the end of our studying, it's really just brings it all together. Anyways, so into the epilogue, the now. Where is Pierce today? July 17th, 2017. Although he did not get his farewell tour as he wanted, which was received negative backlash just at the proposal of that, Pierce signed a ceremonial contract with the Boston Celtics in order to retire with the team. And September 28th, next season, he's hired as a regular contributor on The Jump and the NBA Countdown. And his jersey is now in the rafters of the TD Garden. That was just a spectacular moment to watch that. Very emotional. See his number 34 go way up there. And what's his legacy? 2008 NBA champion, Finals MVP. The wheelchair game definitely solidified that MVP status in the Finals. He was a 10-time NBA All-Star, phenomenal career. 1-time All-NBA second team and 3-time All-NBA third team. I mean, maybe not the best All-NBA statuses, but that's not what matters. What matters is that this guy's a winner. Number 34 retired by Boston Celtics. And he was the first player to ever actually defecate on his opponents in an effort to become an NBA champion. And I know a lot of players like to maybe throw some slang around, use some phrases that they like to defecate on their opponents. You know what I mean? But Paul Pierce actually did that. And I think that's just very impressive. And yeah, there's not much else to say about this. Pierce is just legendary player. Legendary moment right here. And I'm just so happy that we could bring the truth out to you guys. Thank you very much.